One problem that War Thunder will eventually face is that there will be no more vehicles to add. Already we're getting useless versions of vehicles as well as copies of vehicles. However, Gaijin still probably has about at least 5 years of events and updates to add vehicles comfortably, maybe more. There's a lot they can do. They can go back into World War I tanks and so on and so forth. One problem with the game loop is that player retention primarily comes from the tech tree grind. You want to get to the next vehicle, that's your incentive. So if you eventually have all of them or have most of them, then you're not going to really play the game. So the game needs something new. But would that be? New game modes, in order for people to stick around and actually play the game. In this video I'll focus mostly on the ground game modes, and if this does good I'll do one about air game modes that could be added. There are 3 different ways Gaijin can go about this. They can add game modes to the arcade and realistic battles, or create some sort of minigames mode, or obviously both. Minigame mode could be as simple as just reusing April Fools and other events from the past. And this could be something where like every few weeks a new event is cycled through, not necessarily new, but obviously just an old April Fool's event, or maybe other events like the Sturm Tiger event where they had the Goliath mines that you could drive around. Something like that where they use these events, or like the tank soccer or whatever. Haven't brought back April Fool's events into something like that. In minigames mode, you would have to get pre-made lineups, as the game modes are a little bit specific, I guess. And it could not only help queue times, as you wouldn't have to queue a certain rank, you would just queue for minigame mode and you'd be assigned a tank or plane or whatever it is. It could incentivize newer players to get a vehicle if they don't have it, so that could be an incentive for Gaijin to add it. It will also balance the game modes, as every team will have similar, if not the same, vehicles, so then there's no tanks that are significantly better than the other ones, giving one team an unfair advantage. Now I'm just going to throw out different game modes that they could add, and these don't necessarily need to be in a minigames mode or be added to realistic or arcade battles. It could be both, it could be either. I don't know how this would be, but these are just some ideas. So the first one is attack and defense. This one is very simple to be added to the arcade and realistic battles right now. It's basically like battle mode, except only one team has a point instead of both teams having a point. So that means that one team is the defenders and one team is the attackers trying to capture the point. Another one is some sort of dynamic point system. This could be just as simple as adding a dynamic D point that moves around the map based on where activity is. And it could be placed in a point where there's less activity, so then it makes people go to that area. And it also could just be that all the points move around during the battle and not just stay in the same spot. Now these ones probably fit more with like a minigame mode, whereas the other ones fit pretty good with like just incorporating them now into realistic and arcade battles. One of these is Team Deathmatch. We kind of already have this with battle mode, as you can get 60 kills and that will end the game. But it was always like this, it just was hidden in the scoreboard. A true team deathmatch would be fun. Basically, there's no points at all. It's just tank v tank. People have always been asking for that. These ones are more minigame mode focused. One is VIP. Basically, you would have either AI or actual players be the VIP, and basically you'd have to escort them to the end of the map without them dying. Or maybe they have a certain amount of lives. They have like 3 lives before your team loses. You're trying to protect these tanks to get to the end of the map, whatever that will be, and you're preventing the other team from destroying your VIP. Second one, a simple one that can be added, is some sort of capture the flag. This would just be a flag in the map. You'd have to capture the enemy flag and take it back to your base. And maybe it's only one time, maybe it's multiple times, it depends the balance and how easy it is to get a flag or not. One mode that I thought would be kind of interesting in sort of a minigame mode would be something along the line of Shine Sprite Battles, and this is something in Mario Kart. As you hold on to the Shine Sprite, your time goes down, and whoever's team time is the lowest at the end of the game, or whoever gets it down to 0. In War Thunder, maybe how this could work is you would shoot the tank and that would make them drop the object, whatever it would be. And obviously, going back to kind of previous events, there's so much they can do, and they've demonstrated that there's so much potential for new game modes, whether it be some sort of minigame thing or things that they could add to arcade and realistic battles. And these are just some of the game modes I could think of. Obviously, there's multiple out there from other games that you can look at and say, oh, that would be cool to add, or maybe there's some that you guys thought of yourself or something. But if you have, I'd be interested to see what you guys thought of this and what some ideas that you guys have.